If you are listening to this episode and you've been struggling to reach your property management growth goals and you've tried everything but nothing is working, then I want you to grab a pen and paper and get ready to take some notes. Because in this episode, we're going to talk about growing your property management business organically so that you have a steady stream of leads and new managements coming to you 24/7. So let's dive into the episode. Welcome to the Property Management Podcast with That Property Mum. I'm your host, Kylie Walker. I'm a former television sports journalist and mother of four, turned co-owner of a $1 million real estate brand. Each week, I teach women in the property management industry all the best tips to help you balance your career and family, grow your dream business, master your fear, boost your confidence, and conquer your mindset. Ready to get started? Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Property Management Podcast. In this episode, we are going to be talking about growing your property management business organically in 3 steps so that your new management leads are generated around the clock, even while you are sleeping or on holidays. And yes, you can actually do this, so keep listening. But first, tell me, when you go to a new restaurant or look up accommodation like an Airbnb, for example, what is the first thing that you do? And I'm going to guess that you Google them, right? And let me just digress here for one quick minute. Can you actually remember what we did before Google? How we found stuff out? It's so hard to remember, isn't it? We probably would have pulled out a phone book and checked the yellow pages or waited for recommendations from family and friends. But now we have Google, and we should all be very grateful for it. And Google should be considered an ally when it comes to business, not our nemesis. And if you are anything like me, when it comes to a Google search, you probably don't go past page 1. So what this essentially means is that if you aren't on page 1 or maybe 2 at the very least, you are going to miss out on a lot of traffic and potential leads because people don't look harder for you these days. We've become very lazy Google searchers. And if you're thinking, so how do I show up on that all-important page 1? Well, good on you. You are asking exactly the right questions because that is determined by a little word with very big impact called SEO or search engine optimization. And I can personally attest to the value of SEO when it comes to attracting new business and property management growth. As soon as I stepped up my SEO game, the organic management came rolling in. And in layman's terms, SEO is the process of taking steps to help a website or piece of content rank higher on Google. So take, for example, when someone searches for property manager or property management in your core area or suburb, you want to show up on page 1 and ideally towards the top of the page. So SEO is a really easy way to attract organic managements. But if you aren't showing up in the Google search, your lead will simply reach out to someone who is. So you're going to miss out on that business, if that makes sense. So go ahead and search yourself or your business after this episode and see where you are ranking on a Google search. Now, there are a few ways to get your SEO moving in the right direction. Like your website needs to utilize keywords and writing quality original content like blogs. But you also need to avoid content that takes too long to load and make sure that your office location is on Google Business and Maps is also essential. Now, you can engage an SEO expert as well to help you have your website optimized correctly for prime SEO ranking with some simple hacks. You can also just use Google itself and find some budget-friendly ways to get your content and website ranking in Google. Now, another quick and easy way to get yourself and your business showing up on that front page is using Google Ads. You can use this as an alternative to your SEO or while your SEO is still evolving or even in conjunction with it. However, the difference is you have to pay for them. So SEO involves that all-important organic ranking, which means you don't pay to be in that space, Whereas with Google Ads, you pay to show up at the top of the page. And ultimately, with a good SEO setup and or Google Ads, your clients will be finding you before your competition when Googling online. So if you aren't featuring in a Google search, you 100% are going to miss out on that inquiry. And we really don't want that. And these leads can come in at any time of the day or night. So you want to be ready to take them. Now, once these leads are able to find you through your SEO, the next step these leads are going to take is to check your website. And these days, your website is essentially your online business card. Potential clients hear about you through a variety of channels, including your marketing or prospecting efforts. Then they'll take a look at your digital profile. And a huge chunk of your digital profile, and their research for that matter, is looking at your website. Your website gives your business credibility. Without a website, people may even question your legitimacy as a business. So when building or updating your website, you also need to be mindful of the client experience as they navigate the site. Is it easy to get to the places they need to go? Can they engage or contact you on there in multiple ways? This is ultra important. Showcasing your brand to your prospective leads is one of the most important things your website can do for you. But it should also capture leads as well through your subscriptions, contact us pages, pop-ups, and banners. So, with the right website and an SEO optimized website, you have the chance of showing up on page 1 of Google search results. And as we know, this is going to give you a huge edge over your competitors who are only showing up on pages 2, 3, or 4. But what it also does, it allows you to drastically increase your organic lead base. Another important consideration is that you own and control your website. So having a strong presence on social media is so important, but you don't own any of the social platforms. Your contacts and connections and content for that matter could all be gone tomorrow. So visiting your website will be one of the most important steps your target audience takes towards becoming your client. Once you have all those new leads stalking around your website, what do you think the next step they will take is? And again, go back to thinking about your own process when trying to find a new restaurant or accommodation. What would you do? I'm thinking most of you would be going to check the reviews. Am I right? But how do reviews work when it comes to lead generation? Well, now more than ever, reviews are a growing source of new leads and clients. Just like when you go to book your accommodation or a restaurant, potential landlords are doing the same. They are checking your reviews. So why are reviews so important? Well, for starters, it spreads your success quickly, and this improves your brand reputation. It also helps influence your leads' decisions because reviews are considered a trusted source of feedback. So your leads might be considering their options and they might have reached out to multiple rivals and property management companies. But it might be your reviews that might be the thing that cements the deal with you. So ultimately, they are going to get potential leads across the line and turn them into paying clients, tangible new business and new managements. In fact, latest statistics confirm that 90% of consumers read reviews before visiting a business. So add your reviews to as many places as you can. Your marketing materials, use them as content for your social media, and of course, include them on your website. At the end of 2019, I saw the growing trend with these 3 steps in terms of lead generation. So I revamped my website, I engaged some expert help with my SEO, and I set up some simple systems and procedures in my own business that got my reviews flowing in. And as I predicted, when I started asking my new managements, as they started rolling in, where did they hear about us? The first thing they said, they Googled us. Tick. Secondly, they said they checked our website. Tick. And thirdly, They went to our reviews, which at that time were almost double any of our competitors. The final tick. These 3 steps are absolutely critical foundations for organic lead generation in a property management and real estate business. So after today's episode, I want to give you a little homework to do. Firstly, go and Google yourself and see where you appear on a Google search. Anything past page 1 and you've got some SEO work to do. Secondly, check your website. Pretend you are a potential lead navigating around it. How hard is it for them to know what you do or to contact you? And does it reflect your brand and message adequately? Be really honest. How did you find the user experience on your own website? And finally, set up some systems for getting your reviews rolling in. When you sign up a new landlord or tenant, send them the link to leave you a Google review and send your existing clients regular requests for reviews. Don't just ask once. If you are new to business, get as many of your family, friends, colleagues, and connections leaving you reviews as possible. I've also shared a link in the notes below about a company called Podium, who can help you generate reviews with a simple system so that you don't even have to think about it. So these 3 steps are honestly the easiest, quickest, and most essential steps you'll need to take to start generating organic leads for your business. So go ahead after this episode and get started. Once again, thank you so much for carving out the time to hear what was shared on today's podcast. To celebrate the launch of this show, we're giving away 2 of my best-selling ebooks, The A to Z Guide to Property Management and The Growth Secrets You Need to Know, to 10 listeners who rate, review, and follow the podcast. For the exact steps on how to enter, see the link in the show notes below.